So I'm gonna select all our inner faces in here. So all the faces we don't need, and we're gonna rebuild this this face up here. Just the faces that are connecting to our outer part. So delete. Just delete these faces, and now we can link this. Command I for invert selection, and now we can delete this face in here. But be aware we have to keep this round, these rings in here, so don't delete this. And the rest can't be deleted, and now we have to close it. But first, we can solve some edges that we don't need, like this one here. But down here we don't need that many on a straight line. Alright, we are done now with deleting the unnecessary edges, and now we just have to close this gap up. Alright, the last thing we have to do is just to delete this bevel in here. So I'm gonna select it all and open your end panel and go down of 0. Good, done this. Next one. On this one we're just gonna delete all the stuff in here, we don't need it, so just select the faces that are connecting to our main object. And so we can delete the inner parts and close the stuff up. Maybe we can just delete some vertices in here, but I don't think, yeah, we need that on up here. But in here we can delete some unnecessary things. Here we don't need that. It's connecting to nowhere, so just delete this stuff. Alright, good for now. So we're gonna delete this one in the middle. So if we go up like this, how far we can go? Yeah, this we can do. And here neither, so just do it like that. And we have done this part. Oh, the other side, don't forget it. Good. On this, we just delete all the stuff in here. It's baked detail, so delete this 3 extrudes. And now we can bridge loop them together. Don't forget to delete these unnecessary edges or loop cuts, and delete the other half. Same thing up here. We're gonna delete all the stuff in here, we don't need it, but we just gonna delete this edge loop, and then we're gonna delete this one, delete all the stuff in here, and connect this two together so we don't have to do too much stuff. And don't forget to delete this unnecessary stuff in here and this edge loops. Good. Next one, we have a mirror modifier just activated in here, so I'm gonna apply it, and now we can delete this stuff. You can delete the vertices without applying the mirror modifier, but I just want to apply it, so do it like you want. And yeah, we have all. So maybe there is too much of this stuff going on here. Yeah, we can delete this. This is not good. So next one, the last one. How we can do this one? Just delete these faces, delete the other parts and fill it, and now we can just delete this unnecessary edges in here. Good, we are done now with the deleting of our unnecessary edges. Just for reference, we have now 9,000 of the vertices we need. Yeah, we reduced it a lot. The next thing we can do is to lay our UV map. And as always, we start with this one. So go into local view, open a second window with this little plus icon. And on the left part, I usually have my UV editor, and go to new. I call it UV grid. And usually I'm going a little bit high, 4K. And on generated type, go to UV grid, and okay, we have our grid. Good. To start with, we are going in the edit mode, and we have to figure out which line we can just cut. So I think I want to cut this line and the bottom line. So select this, press Command E, and under here you have this marked seam. So same thing on the back. And if I select all now and press on U, you have this UV mapping, and unwrap. You see the UV wrapping is just beautiful, but we have to first activate this UV sync selection, and the second one I want to activate is under here, under UV editing and display stretch. So we see our stretching. Blue means that's good, that's flat, and if it's going into green, yellow, red, it's bad because we have a lot of stretch in here. So we have to unstretch it a little bit in here. So I think to do that, just cut this line in here and cut this. And we have these two parts nice even, but we have in here some problems. It's that causing these problems. So how we can do this? Let me see. So maybe if we gonna cut this like that, just try it. But it's a little bit better to have still some stretching in here. So I'm gonna cut this side It's difficult because we can't get it beautiful blue, so we have to deal with this. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side and cut it like that, and I think I let it now. Yeah, it's good. The other thing I have to do is just to separate these faces from the rest, because on this two we have a lot of detail to bake, so this two has to be bigger than the other. So done this, just go to the next one. This one is fairly easy, so just select these two faces and make a cut up down here, and that's enough. So go to the next one, same thing, cut these two ends. The next we can do just to see what's happened. Yeah, that's good. So just make a line down here and the rest is okay. So next one. This one is easy, but just gonna apply the mirror modifier and delete this line in here. Same thing. Just, yeah, we can delete it. Yeah, just delete this unnecessary lines. And now I'm starting with this, so select the whole face. Don't select this one, same thing on the back side, and select this one, mark seam, and done this object. Good, I'm gonna just hide it for the moment. And now we just have to do the same thing up here. This one is a little bit trickier to select, but if we do it manually, it's good. I'm gonna try the same thing like on the other object. Maybe it works, but we're gonna see it. I think we have a problem up here and down here, but just unwrap it. So yeah, we have a problem in here and in here, but the rest seems good. So just cut this one off, and we can clear the seam in here, so it's still connected and it's nice blue. And the same thing down here. And we are done. Next thing. This one is just open up. So mark this as a seam. And obviously we have to apply our mirror modifier, so we can delete this. No, we can't, but we can delete this one. Put some seams down up here and down here, and we are good to go. Next one. Alright, let me see. This one needs some seams. And the whole thing down here. If you can see, if you have marked this one, just go up here and under sharp, you can turn it off. So you will see your selection. And same thing if you want just to turn it back on, go up here and turn it back on. So unwrap it. For now it's looking good, but if we're gonna apply our mirror modifier, so we can just delete these unnecessary things in the middle, you're gonna see we have a little bit of a problem. So in here we can just delete this. Right, we need these two faces for our details. So we have to put a seam in here. These are done, and obviously the bottom one, but yeah, we're gonna just now we have a problem in here. Okay, I'm gonna take some seams up here and the same thing down here, so we can separate this. It's this little line. So hide this, and the blade. We need this. Need we the blade? Yeah, we need it. So same thing on the other side. It's looking a little bit better. So select this line and hide it. Now we have to set a seam line up here. It's the only thing we can do. Yeah, it's okay. Just keep it like that. Good, we have to separate, as always, this face. But first, don't forget to apply the mirror modifier. Delete this line in here, don't delete this too. And now, we're gonna select these two faces. I'm gonna hide it. And now we have to do the same thing. Just make some seams on these edges. I was looking so far good. Yeah, that's a little bit bad, but I think that's this. It's this part in here. So if you want, you can just make some seams in here and separate it, but it's not as much important. It's good, and same thing on here, just some seams. This one looking good. Go to the next. This one is easy, just cut these two faces off and one line in here. It's also easy, same thing. Oh, we have just to cut another one. Just like the other. So select this. And the back one I think I'm gonna just cut it like that. Maybe if in here we have just to do some other things, but let's see how it's work with this. Yeah, in here we have a little bit of a little bit cuts to set. Good for now. Last one. Apply the mirror modifier. Oh, I don't delete this two, just delete the other thing. And now we have to cut this face off because we have this one is our big detail object face. And for this we're gonna just maybe one cut. No, we have to do another cut. So I'm gonna do it like this. So to solve this, we have to do some more cuts. And that's enough. Good, we have done all our object. Go back in the global view and select now all of your objects and go into edit mode, and you see we have a little bit of a mess. So select all, go to UV unwrap. Now we have to select our faces that have a lot of details that are baked. So it's that face, that one, on this, and the other side. And I think that are all. Oh, this one. So these are our faces that are gonna be with baked detail on it. So I put it aside. So select the rest, click on UV, unwrap, And you see we have a little bit of a problem with this one because it's too large, so just make a cut in here and do the same thing again. So it's a little bit closer, or the other stuff you can do, just select this too. These two are parts that aren't very presented in our object, so it doesn't matter if it's low poly. So these two blades, these blades we have to do a little bit bigger, and the rest it's fair enough if we have it like this. So to start with, we have just to select our main object that has a lot of details on it, then our second object, our third object, and our last object that can be really small. So I open up my end panel, and I hope you have UV Pack Master 3. It's a really nice tool to use, so get it, or you can do it manually. And I select all with UV Pack Master 3, and then I'm going to fix scale. Under packing options, fix scale. And now if I going to pack, you see the magic happens. It packed all with our fixed scale in it. But we can go a little bit, but we can scale it a little bit more. Do it again. A little bit more, do it again. It's too much, you see we have some errors in here, so go a little bit down. And we have done our nice UV map. Good, if you don't want to buy this nice add-on, we have to do it manually, so just select one by one, scale it, and create your own UV map. But I love this add-on and I keep it for the next tutorials. We can just go to... Alright, now we can just export it. So to do that, we just select all of our low poly, go to File, Export, and under FBX, we can just click on that. Make sure you have to limit to selected object on, and under geometry, just the normal things like apply modifiers and that stuff. The last thing we have to do is just rename our export. I think I call it Battleaxe underscore low, and click on export. So wait a second and it's done. Now go to your high poly, do the same thing, select all, go to File, Export, FBX, and call this time this one high. Same thing, with the same thing on, limit to selected object, and geometry just the same as default. So export FBX, and now we just can go to Marmoset Toolbag, open a new file, and now we can just drag and drop our files in here. So with our Battleaxe high and Battleaxe low selected, just drag and drop in here, and it's loading in. So I'm just closing this tool down. Now we can just navigate in the right position, and you see we have our high and our low poly in here. I'm just seeing we have here a little bit of a problem with this. I don't know why it's doing this stuff, but we just can go back to our file and search for the problem. I think it's a modifier or something like that. The problem we have here is because we haven't triangulated our main object. So go back to Blender, select all, go into edit mode and select all again. Then press Command T to triangulate our high poly, and now we just can export it again with the same settings. Oh, make sure you have the bevel modifier on. So I'm going back and export it again. And now if you go back to Marmoset Toolbag, you see we haven't any problem again. So do the same thing on the low poly. Select all, in the edit mode, select all again, Command T, and we are done here. So export it again, and now we can just do our baking stuff. Alright, drag and drop again our low poly. And now we go up here to our little bread, our new bake project, click on it, and with our two objects, just drag and drop it in here, the low in the low, and the high in the high. So done this, Now you see our high is deactivated, so it's not showing up. To activate it, go this little A icon and activate it, so we see our details in here. But for now I just deactivate this one, so we just see our low poly and we see what's baking on. Alright, now to do our first bake, go up to our bake project, click on it, and here we have a bunch of settings. We just have to tweak some of the settings. The first thing we have to do is go to output and select where to save our files. So I'm just saving it under a new folder. I'm calling it Marmoset. And in here we just do another folder for saves and another folder for exports. Maybe I'm calling it maps. Alright, under maps we just go in here, we call it we call the maps Battleaxe, and the data type just PSD, it's fine. So we are going to save it under save, call it Battleaxe or what you want, and we are done here. For the samples I like to go to 16, and the next thing you have to do is multiple textures that we haven't any for now. Just make sure it's all in one map. So here we have to do nothing, but our resolution go up to 4K, and under maps we just need a few maps, not all. So go under this button, click on it and deselect material ID. We don't need that. We need the normals object, we need the position, the curvature and the thickness and the ambient occlusion. These 6 maps are the maps we need in Substance Painter. So close it down. And for the first bake, we just deselect all of our maps except for the normals. It's just a test bake. So go up to bake, click on it, wait a second or two. So for now you see nothing because we just have to click on preview and we have our details in here. It's looking a little bit not good for now, but we just can change it later on. So it's just for testing, but I think it's good enough for now. So we're going to activate the last 5 maps. So just activate it and click bake again. This one is taking a little bit more time. When it's done, just go to preview and you see the magic happen. Alright, our maps are now baked. You see the details now better. This black information comes from the ambient occlusion. It's looking very nice. Here we have some problem, but for the rest it's looking good. I think we have a problem in here, but we see that in a second. There aren't some major error, maybe in here. So let's take a look. This is not looking good. So maybe we have just to tweak a little bit of the high poly. But for the rest, here we have also a little bit of a problem. But for the rest, it's looking good. All right, so let's solve some problem. We start with this one. It's a little bit too low poly. So go back to our high poly, and you see we have 2 straight in here. So just select these points. And maybe we need some other points in here. So I'm going to deactivate the build modifier because it's slowing down my viewport. For now you can't set any loop cuts because we just have all triangles. To resolve that, we just take a loop cut in here. We can do one, but we have to do something more. So just select this point and select this one and press Command J. And you can do that. Nice. So we have to do it manually. Just select this point, maybe the K tool, and select our other points. And now we have the straight line. So this one we are going to connect up here, and now we can easily move these points.